that promoted by many of the United Nations influences. The coming of a universal Christ to satisfy all religions. Tahad and Robert Muller, as well as Muller's inspiration, Alice Bailey, all spoke of this God whom man worships under many names.
For the next page.
Then it was a hint of the occult drama.
Okay. Describe.
Okay. Text. Okay. Textmas explains the occult nature of these futures. Perhaps the best way to comprehend what the all-seeing eye represent, is to examine the architecture of the meditation room of the United Nations building in New York City. The meditation room is shaped as a pyramid without the capstone. Inside, the room is dimly lit, but coming from the ceiling is a narrow but concentrated pinpoint beam of light which radiates down to a bleak stone altar.
And the ground.
Okay. On the wall, straight ahead, is a breathtaking, a modernistic mural that is dynamically endowed with occult symbolism, containing 27 triangles in various configurations, a mixture of black and white and colored background, and a snake-like vertical line.
In the ground, 20. So the bachelor.
Me kind of more. Come on, and fat sheet to the guitar, man. To make kind of no more. Also on the wall, straight ahead is breathtaking, modernistic mural that is dynamically endowed with occult symbolism, containing 27 triangles in various configurations, a mixture of black and white and colored background, and a snake-like vertical line. At the center is the all-seeing eye, which grips the millions of annual UN visitors with its stark, beckoning image of suspicion and omnipresence. Wow.
Yeah. Tamunti.
Indeed. You and me.
Everyone.
No more meditation. Okay. Alice Bailey.
And in the spiritual background of United Nations. After you, you could know some kind of some friends. Kubata. After the war would be eternity. And I know Amansa Kubata in Senya Yaukan, you know. I did away and say, or attempted so better establish another super state, world state, global governance in opposition to the creator. And yeah, United Nations, dear anymore, you know, and Tokwakesia democracy, queer, dear, a mine, a memu, etia, or body. Sapepe na United Nations area. Now the Orion, the second after the first failed attempt by Nimrod. Oh, okay. And then Bible said Nimrod, let us build a tower. The first attempt of a super world state against Obadiah divine rule. And then Nimrod started here. Genesis 11, 1-9. Okay. The oppressor will be our own kind. Then your tower be say we see die. No, then a super world state, global governance system. A quarter or body. In the United Nations, after Nimrod be fairly, you know, almost had the baby. Said no nafi. Yes, I did baby. If you ask me, was a baby back on the chair. Your baby who at the costume. Now, let me say. 2000 in Abusumu, so I don't know UN Secretary General, September 2000. And the largest gathering of world leaders, what we call adopt Millennium Declaration.
Yes.
And how they call starting Millennium Development Goals. Said by 2015, now countries, I'm going to 8 countries should be able to achieve 8 Millennium Development Goals. 2015 drew, you know. Everyone say, oh, yeah, did you cry about the count? Yes, said, you know, you have sustainable development goals. Until September, President Mahama represented Ghana at that time. 2000, President Rawlings represented Ghana. nti wɔn kɔ na wɔn kɔ adopt yɛ sɛ by 2030 which is only 9 years more woti abɛka sɛ wɔ akyiri ka 9 years nti Ghana hanom sɛ sustainable development na bɛma LGBT aba we be win Ghana election 2024 onye
yes
oni need nipa obeba abeje sa LGBT ade na to
first prophecy
to
first prophecy
because the 2024 when I obeji LGBT ato ope na say ne boss say na video ukwa kobu akunta 2030 yes
I'm a social last week say without acceptance I say yes stop say be discriminate LGBTIQ no there's no way to achieve and there's a deadline 2030 in two about so 2024 there
why na be ka akọja
na onye ka so no de enyana brezo
obu ejira oba entuwe no kom be campaign na ho oba ompatem no be kasa na obisa no pa cha oba agi obeji atuma na anyintum so
opportunity no
ai
enjiri amamin kama sem me de mre na ye aduma
yes
udi kwaku achi a o ma ho adi enti eneno so sa na tie there United Nations new vocabulary and some of can be inclusive growth or inclusiveness tolerance sa na ma we nu nyina ni language a ekwotia oboade
okay
because oboade anim there there's nothing like tolerance we say there na o nka to obu ase na di we 2-1 na be anu nya oboade language but anu need the language of United Nations COVID-19
yes
enti enkofo say you taking advantage of it a rare opportunity that the great reset back crash up any World Economic Forum wọ́n sọ ọmọ di aba ebe si ne kuro bia ni wa wadi atum se me nam de ba ye o but kuro bia ni obre se ene amumie ya de vaccine be o mumie nkonko wo ne ye ho nto ye ni eze na ade a obi ni ba bi efre ba ye no ye ye be ni etu anamo se ye si ano kura
sa
ya dwene no ho sa
na utu kwana ni ba bi akwa obesi da ba bi adi sem
ene na se etumi dwene ho se na ye de kwa na sa de we ba ye e ba ye nso no Krobia economy are affected. And into almost any opportunity, you have a reset we are seeing. Then no, and a form of the crux of America 2020 elections. You have a video.
Okay.
The video where we are, and I have who Sir Trump. Yet we miss a bunch. And I say. The campaign any amano no lusu ya na say dey. If you no buy no 2016 or buy no onya nomination no kwa no time ntinka refresh your mind with enema bebre da obakeka ye ontimi win ontimi mayor president ontimi yatiti ni nyina bi adentia na sem a no dey ba no kire say me dey America first American tin am ba yo mama dey wi ase mo ka global no moment transcend there bi answer me dey me ni globalization and I say globalism ho ansem me ba say me ba be America first enti obenya a time bebre na no ne core basis me nkasa bebre me pese video no first video
ya bako akohwe video wa dika ba no ya to dey say the great reset doubles and the plot to cancel Trump na ya kwakwa video na ba no na me ka wo say Israel consult say ene or they ahwani one friend say continuous spectacle na aba enti mu amo how all mani so say medical bomb kokoro mu moden samo za be kasa ahwani wa we bi we eyi ani sukuro esiesie ani ni so eyi o hanya ma ni bia wani su bia obi o hwa de kakra osmani na agene osmani na tusa obi tibe posa da ni ana se nsoroma bi na na ni so be pato bo modem ansantumi nka eyesa continuous spectacle na bi wo sha ebeyi o hanya ma ni bia wani ni su bia se nyete na nye nifra na nye gako ma dia na wani su na hyehye wo kuro bi na wani so ni de keka ho a ba jonko enko hye sa ahweniwa na te se biota frache de obo se kan no sha ahweniwa life wom na esan so esiesi weni de ema wo mo amope bi atu ato ana sempo ba ko bi ato ayisu no mo ba frɛ is a consult number no 0207782482 0207782482 and answer 0244686557 0244686557 na mpanifo nyo so na sentiment kabi yanko hwe your first video ne emra the great reset Davos and the plot to cancel Trump yanhwe emra short one.
Administration a danger to the world that will disappear in 2020.
What if I told you that Bill Gates, Greta Thunberg, Al Gore, George Soros, Prince Charles, and Cardinal Turkson were meeting in the mountains to plot a global new order to be established on the back of the COVID pandemic? An outrageous movie plot? Or is it absolutely true? Donald Trump and the Davos connection, tonight from the editor's desk. This is about a reset of everything, and the United States of America is in the way right now of all of it. So they are destabilizing our entire country. The Great Reset, then, politically, economically, it wants to implement massive socialist programs and, of course, global climate change along the lines of the Green New Deal. The regulation is going to be unbelievable, and no country will be allowed to opt out of this. Why? Well, if an individual country opts out of the Great Reset, they're going to be endangering the whole world community, the whole world, through future pandemics that will be caused by climate change, Al Gore says, and overpopulation, says Bill Gates. You see how it works? No country will be allowed to opt out. This is what we're facing in November. And if you think the Catholic Church is going to protect you from what's coming, from this globalist takeover nightmare, think again. Well, poor Francis, he couldn't make it out to Davos back in January when the big party happened. But he did send his representative, the globalist cardinal, Peter Turkson, in his place.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to welcome His Eminence Cardinal Turkson, Prefect of the Dicastery for Promoting Integral Human Development of the Vatican City-State, with a special message from His Holiness Pope Francis. Your Eminence, it is a pleasure to welcome you back to Davos. The stage is yours.
This is to Professor Klaus Schwab, Executive Chairman of the World Economic Forum. As the World Economic Forum celebrates its 50th anniversary, I send greetings and prayerful good wishes to all taking part in this year's gathering.
Everyone's in on the Great Reset. Well, almost everyone. There's one guy who's got the power to do something to stop it, and you know exactly where I'm going. And they made a mistake. They tried to get Trump on their side, so they invited Donald Trump to Davos, I think a couple of times. But in January, when Donald Trump, I think, really began to see the beast that he was up against, he went to Davos, to the World Economic Forum, and he stuck a mega finger in their eye.
We're committed to conserving the majesty of God's creation and the natural beauty of our world. But to embrace the possibilities of tomorrow, we must reject the perennial prophets of doom and their predictions of the apocalypse. These alarmists always demand the same thing: absolute power to dominate, transform, and control every aspect of our lives. We will never let radical socialists destroy our economy, wreck our country.
2 days after Donald Trump gave that speech, the 89-year-old leftist weirdo billionaire George Soros made an emergency intervention where, at Davos, once again, warning that the U.S. 2020 election will determine the, quote, fate of the whole world. Now, in the context of Davos, take a look at this one more time. This is a month after Donald Trump addressed Davos and stuck the MAGA finger in their face. Here's what Francis, the Vatican, and Jeffrey Sachs had to say in response.
And it is a dangerous country right now. It will be absolutely dangerous if Trump wins re-election. Trump wins re-election. Trump wins re-election.
Francis invited this guy to the Amazon Synod as an honored guest and advisor. He's also Bernie Sanders' advisor. What's he doing in the Vatican? Why is this guy who's a promoter for socialist, out and out socialist, Bernie Sanders, what's he doing advising the Pope? Why does he have entree to the Vatican, friends? Sachs supports abortion and contraception, but that's not a problem for the Vatican. For the Vatican, for Pope Francis, and for his friends at the UN, Donald Trump is the problem, obviously, friends.
Clearly, I consider the Trump administration a danger to the world, but I regard it as a purely temporary phenomenon that will disappear in 2020.
Do you get it? Do you see why there's so much hate for Trump? Because with all of his faults, again, he's the capitalist. He's not the globalist. He never will be one of them, which is why he pulled the United States out of the Paris Climate Agreement. Donald Trump pulled the United States out of the World Health Organization. That's Bill Gates and company. And now he's threatening to pull the United States out of the World Trade Organization. People say, yeah, well, Donald Trump got married twice. He's a bad guy. Really? He's right in the face of the demons on this, friends. Nobody ever said he was a saint. He's knocking the sacred cows of the United Nations down all over the world right now.
The General Assembly routinely votes 185 against the United States on almost everything right now.
And you remember, speaking of the United Nations, in November of 2019, again, right before COVID landed, Trump went to the UN, on the floor of the General Assembly, and he declared war on globalism.
Wise leaders always put the good of their own people and their own country first. The future does not belong to globalists. The future belongs to patriots.
And shortly after the speech at the UN, Donald Trump delivered, what do you think happened? The coronavirus was unleashed on the world, and Trump's booming U.S. economy went on life support. Do you think that was an accident?
I wish, yeah, and some no. Now, over me telling you now, myself, Miss Abacopeno, Bisa, set Trump, any poop, honey, I'm Sunni.
Nasenka, you're kind of face value, they are set Trump on far. And I'm saying, Enkatan, was it mean my intina minam? They may have my mind what on. I don't know.
One say, Osha, a near ma, Nipa be my bopo, so when the quality of bad dear. Trump, as original, sir, penny. One penny, and you said, okay, be two bunch. Sir, inter Muzasa or no, any poop. Okay, that's it. About us,
what was the underlying factor in America 2020 elections? And so, any part saying him, oh, Trump, well, lose your quite. Now then, what good contender, when you say, you can say, baby, Ghana. Banana corner or corner, basis, no, and any amount of beer, and who be said. Now, in this final four, United Nations, anywhere, the second Tower of Babel.
Okay.
Member states and a building. Materials on the building a sustainable development. And when I do Babel building a super state, now Quatia or Barbie. Say, UN laws a replacing national laws.
Yes.
An example, any UN Convention on the Rights of the Child. Emma. That be a Ghana high the two the boy who suffer in it. That person will be kind with you because me who baby I made the a shit. All the boy who suffer he say, oh Ghana, you cry any the first country. Mark baby.
I see promoting children's rights, relevance of conventions, legislation. Okay, we Daily Graphic, 3rd February 2014. Also, the objective of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, CRC, is to protect children from discrimination, neglect, and abuse. It is the principal children's treaty covering a full range of civil, political, economic, social, and cultural rights. The convention is the first legally binding international treaty to give universally recognized norms and standards for the protection and promotion of children's rights in a single text. The UN General Assembly adopted the CRC and opened it for signature on November 20th, 1989, the 30th anniversary of its Declaration of the Rights of the Child. Ghana was the first country to sign the convention in January 20